Hi, everyone. My name is Darius, and I am the owner of Energy Boost Healing. And I wanted to say, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is an introduction video about who I am and about what I hope to do with this channel. So, I am an intuitive coach. What I do is that I teach people how to be more aware of the energy in their life and how to shift it. Um, what are some of my gifts? Some of my gifts are I kind of check all the boxes when it comes to the psychic gifts. Some are more prevalent than others. The big one that I have is that, or the biggest one that I have is that I'm clairsentient, which means that I feel. So if you identify as an empath fall is like is a subcategory of uh, what clairsentience is. So clairsentience means that I feel, and with empaths feel, but empaths have a wide variety of different categories. You have your physical empaths, you have your emotional empaths, your intellectual empaths, animal empaths, plant empaths, and there are more. Uh, so I'm always having to process what it is that I'm feeling and what it's attached to. Uh, Another one that I have that is a big one is claircognizance. So I get information that kind of gets downloaded to me. I'm not always 100% sure where that information comes from. Sometimes it could be from spirits that have crossed over. Sometimes I'm just not 100% sure, to be honest. Um, I know when I'm receiving information because generally I tend to kind of go out and the information that is coming through is kind of flowing out of my mouth, and it can kind of sound like I'm talking in monotone. And as that information is coming out, it is it's almost like I'm hearing it for the first time as well. The third one that I have that is another big one is clairsentience, claircognizance, clairaudience. So it is how I hear things. I don't hear voices the way that some mediums do, where they are hearing them with the tone and the way that they did as if they were living. I get dialogue that kind of goes through my brain. So I it's interesting. It's interesting to kind of like hear information, even though I'm not actually hearing it. The I do check some of the other boxes, but they kind of get flared up, in varying degrees. And the way that your psychic gifts work is that they all kind of overlap. So where I might be getting, a strange feeling and I'm trying to figure out what it's attached to, what am I supposed to do with it? I might get downloads of information that goes, oh, it's attached to this. This is what you're feeling. It's kind of like playing detective. Uh, how I choose to use my gifts, I have a really strong desire to work with people and to teach them how to be more intuitive. And I can feel when people are struggling. I know what it's like when you are having feelings and you don't know what it's attached to. And when I was younger, I used to absorb, I used to be really open with my energy field, and I used to absorb a lot of negative stuff. And I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know how to have boundaries with it. And I would absorb everything like a sponge until I finally exploded. And sometimes I think people might feel like they just are, if you're in a toxic environment, even if you're going to the mall during the holiday season where people are I mean, I guess people don't go to the mall anymore, but like when we talk about Black Friday shopping, and I can already get anxiety because everyone is just on edge. People are in a rush. People are, you absorb it all. And imagine being in a negative situation where you have um, people being mean to you. As someone who is gay, when I was younger, kids are mean, and I mean, adults are mean too. And the things that people would say to a young gay kid, it was mean. So not knowing how to process it, not knowing, you absorb it all. I absorbed it all, and then I would just release. So as adults, if you don't know that you're sensitive, you feel really stuck, and you can feel helpless. And my goal is to teach people how to shift it for themselves. And, where I talked about, Tyler Henry or the Long Island Medium, where they are working with people, they form a connection with people, and then they are also connecting to loved ones that have crossed over for the living. And for me, that is an avenue I really didn't want to go down. Um, I don't, I have weird attachment issues that I feel, and when I don't want to feel them, I don't want to feel them. And I know that sometimes the people who are living can have an attachment to a medium because they feel that by being closer to the medium, they can be closer to their loved ones. And I don't want attachments. And for the loved ones that have crossed over, sometimes there are really painful, tragic ways that they have died. And the medium is always processing sometimes their final moments, sometimes their hard lessons in life. And that's a lot for one person to feel. And if you're going from client to client, you're talking about a lot of negative, sad stuff. And not only just in that avenue, but then you're also dealing with the attachment to the living, where some people have really poor boundaries and they just want to be closer. So, my way of nixing that is just by having really strong boundaries and moving towards teaching the living how to raise their awareness that they can be closer to the people that have crossed over. Signs and symbols are available to us all, and it's a matter of knowing, being aware to see when they present themselves, and also knowing what to do when you do feel something. How many of us have received red flags? And those could have been, signs from your loved ones who have crossed over, and we just chose to ignore it because either we didn't have the knowledge to or foresight to be like, hey, this is going to lead somewhere bad, or we just ignore it thinking that it's the red flag or sign is, um, not important or whatever. So, the purpose of this channel really is to kind of go down a list of um, things that I think will help raise the awareness for people. So that way they can, if you really are interested in growing and shifting the energy in your life, there are tools that are available to you. And hopefully, I might be able to word it in a way that you can best receive that message. And while I do individual coaching, and I can see people being like, why are you giving this information out on here when what is the difference between the information that you're giving here versus your individual coaching? Well, they are two very different things. And while they might merge in some ways, with these videos, you are getting a very generic presentation of what it is that I'm doing and what it is that I'm trying to convey. Versus when you sign up for individual coaching, you are getting my entire curriculum of uh, schooling that you will be doing. And you also are getting me individually, where I am working with you and your living situation and the people you have in your life and all of the things. And you are getting this one-on-one attention. And I am fully aware that not everyone can afford me. And I know that there are some people who are in situations where they are financially strapped, where they're just not in a situation that they can afford, these types of services. And because I have this strong will to work with people and to help people grow, even if I can impact someone, I hope that the ripple effects kind of go outwards, that, maybe one day they might tip me. Maybe one day when they can't afford it, they might sign up. Uh, but this is really about reaching people and teaching them how to be more intuitive. So, that being said, when you kind of go down the videos, you will see individual, learning lessons. Let me know what you think. I love to hear comments. I love to hear feedback. How you can find me. You can find me by one, subscribing to this YouTube channel and seeing what new videos come out next. You can find me on www.energyboosthealing.com if you are individual, or if you are interested in individual coaching. If you want to support me in other ways, or you appreciate what I'm doing, you are more than welcome to tip me. You can find me on Energy Boost Healing at Venmo. If something registers for you and there's something that takes away and you say, hey, I want to buy you a cup of coffee, things like that are very much appreciated. And with the individual or individual coaching, it becomes an energy exchange between one person to another, where that is what you want in life. And that is actually a big thing that I want people to realize, is that with the relationships that you have in life, there needs to be an even connection. And while I am spreading this out for everyone, for those who are in a place where they can create that mutual connection, I'm more than happy to do that. So, to be continued. I hope, this was helpful information. I look forward to hearing more about who you are and how you're applying these lessons in everyday life. So, to be continued. Thanks. Bye.